Hey everybody, this is Ray. I am here because some very lovely people who I love very much made a request for me to show them how to apply my makeup how to apply makeup so that it lasts longer and to look more youthful. Of course, these women don't need to look more youthful, but that's my personal opinion. I am not going to show you eye applications, how I'm going to do the eyes. I'm just basically going to show you and go through the tricks and the tips so that your makeup lasts longer and so that to help you look more youthful. And the first thing you want to do is you want to start with a clean face and you want to start with a moisturized face. Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. Because you want those lipids to go into the lines in your face and you want to plump up. As you can see, the lighting is not so great here. This is my natural face. This is what I look like. And I don't have a problem with that. But the reason why we do makeup is so that it's a meditation, and then we add color to our lives, and when we add color to our lives, we add confidence, we add different feelings, different energies. So for those naysayers who are like, you don't need makeup, you're right, you don't need makeup, but you don't need meditation either. It's just really good to do. So, and that's essentially what this is. And the best part of it is, it belongs to you. No one can take that away from you. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do what is called a primer. All right. Now there are different types of primers, and what it does is it adds a little bit of stickiness to the face so that the makeup has something to bond to, and that's what's going to keep it from running. So this particular primer that I'm using is from Laura Mercier. This was a sample that I got many years ago, and because you don't need much, it lasts forever. So I'm going to take about a drop like that. I'm going to pat it. I'm going to put a drop here, drop here, drop here, drop here, and under the eyes. And I'm going to use the heat of my fingers, my natural oils in my fingers, to trigger the product. And I'm going to pat very, very lightly under the eyes. That's a very sensitive place, so be very careful when doing that. And we're also going to cover the lips too, because you want your lipstick to stick too. Okay? So that is your base. And the way to remember this is you got to put on your base before you put on your face. Okay. Now the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some concealer. As you can see, and this lighting really isn't so great, but it is what it is. Sorry. The light under the eyes, and the bags under the eyes, is what adds a few years to your look. So you want to take care of that area first. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturize again. Except this time I'm going to use just for this. And it's a tinted moisturizer. See? It looks like a foundation, but it's not. I'm just going to pat that a little bit. Tap, 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 tap. Again, I'm using my fingers. Some people would prefer to use a beauty blender. That's fine. Some people would rather use a brush. That's fine. I prefer to use my fingers, and what that does is it moisturizes it, and it's going to get into the wrinkles, and it's going to swell them. So then I want to cancel out the darkness. Cancel the darkness. Now I know usually I am embracing it, but in this particular case, under my eyes, darkness is not welcome. So I'm going to use a color cancellation stick. This one's from Marc Jacobs. And I'm just gonna tap, 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 tap. And as you can see, the dark circles are starting to lighten up just a little bit already. Now I know it's kind of hard to see in this light, but this is the best I can do. So I apologize for that. But again, this is just basically a how-to. Then the third step I'm going to take is my concealer. Now most people use a concealer that's much brighter. I prefer to use a concealer that is closest to my natural shade and just a little bit lighter. So I'm going to stretch my face a little bit. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And those dark circles are going to be less prominent, especially once I put on my foundation, which I don't have, so hold that thought. Okay, I am now prepared. Got my foundation. But we're not ready for that yet. We are still priming. We are still putting the base before the face. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put primer on the eyelids and on the lips, because these are the oiliest places on your face, the thinnest skin, and therefore the easiest for makeup to move. So we want to use a primer. Now my favorite eye primer is the Too Faced. Okay, goes a long way. But there is also the Makeup Forever Step 1, which is also primer for the lips as well. So I'm going to use this for the eyes, and I'm going to use this for the lips. And I'm going to shake it up. Shake, 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 shake. Make sure it's all nice and mixed. And just so you know, I've had most of this makeup for a while. Good makeup will last a while. And a lot of people are, especially of the older generations, don't realize what technology has advanced in the makeup industry. It doesn't have that nasty smell anymore. You know the smell? Almost like the L'Oreal lipsticks still kind of have that makeup-y smell. They don't have it anymore. As a matter of fact, most of it, they make it smell sweet. So it's much more pleasurable. So those are my eyes, and they're gonna feel a little sticky. Just a little sticky. And that's what we want. And now I'm going to take a little of this, and I'm going to prime the lips. Okay. Now my base is on, and I'm ready to put on my face. So I like to work from the top down. So I'm going to start with my brows, and I will be right back. Okay, my eyebrows are done. They're just slightly groomed. I don't do a whole lot with them simply because I don't have to. I'm kind of blessed that way, but some people have to, like, you know, really paint them on. I'm just very fortunate, and I like to keep a natural look personally. Now, one of the other nice things about putting on a primer on your eyes is that it cleans the slate. Okay, it cleans the canvas. You have tiny little vessels and veins and capillaries in your eyes, and what the primer does is it kind of makes it even. So I'm going to now put on my eyes, and I will be right back. Okay, I now have my eyes on. I went with a green and gold kind of look. This part is, and now I'm going to do the foundation. I'm going to do my all over now that my primer is set and that I have taken care of all the fallout from my eyeshadow, if there was any. Now this part, some people, again, they like to use their hands, which I don't really recommend because it can streak. Some people use a beauty blender, that's perfectly fine. I prefer the brush. Why? Because it's quicker. And this particular foundation that I'm using is Stila, and it's a stay all day foundation. Okay, and I'm gonna start at the top. And yes, I'm going over the lips. And I'm gonna blend that sucker right in as quickly as I can. Because once it dries, that's it, you're done. Okay, see, just like that. Now the nice thing about this foundation, and this is something that I'm going to recommend to older women or men, people with older skin, is not to go with a heavy matte finish. You want to go with something that's going to be a little bit more permeable, something a little bit more malleable, and something a little lighter. So you want medium to light coverage. If you have blemishes, or if you have really serious blemishes, then just go over that with a, not cover up, concealer. Cover it with a concealer, take care of that first. You know, treat it the same way you would, treat those blemishes the same way you would under your eyes. And then put your foundation on, and that should do the trick. So now my foundation is on. And we're gonna do what is called contouring. I tried to explain it. I guess I didn't explain it very well. I apologize. I guess it's kind of like, it's kind of like explaining to somebody how to tie your shoes. Okay, but really what contouring does is it shapes your face by using shadow. Now, anybody who has any kind of artistic background, you know this. Where you want light, it's where the light source comes from. Well, you want to create your own light source. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my contour and I'm going to define my cheekbones and I'm going to define my jawline. Okay? And how you do this is you use a color that's slightly different, slightly darker. Suck in your cheeks. Do not go into the canyon, you want to go just above it, okay? Using small circular motions. Okay. And kind of sweeping, look at this. Sweep up, sweep up. Okay. Now for the bottom of the face, just gonna add a little shadow there. Add a little contour there. Thin out the nose, just a little bit, even though I like my nose. Okay, and now I have more defined cheekbones. Now let's lift them up. And we're gonna do that with highlighter. Highlighter you can get anywhere. This is not a, I know back in my day we didn't have those. But they found that this is what, you know, really gives that youthful look. So I am going to take my highlighter brush and I'm going to take my Anastasia palette. And since I've gone green and gold with the eyes and I want to complement it with the lips, I think I'm going to go with a, let's go with a neutral shade for the highlight. And where I'm going to put is I'm going to put it on top of the contour, right on top of where the light would hit. Right there. See how that pops? Okay. Blend it a little. Okay. Okay. Blend it a little. Okay. And now I have higher cheekbones. Now if you notice these two, hey, horns up. If you notice these two pods, they're genetic. They're part of my makeup. They're part of who I am. I get them from my dad. There's nothing I can do about them. I have to accept them. And I do. So, there's really not much you can do with those. Except tape and whatnot. So I'm going to add just a little color, and that will blend the highlight and the contour together. And I am going to use my Elizabeth Arden rose color. And I'm just going to put that in between one stroke, one or two strokes, 1, 2. That's it. Now I'm blended. Okay? And that will raise your cheekbones. That'll give you a much brighter look. And last but not least are your lips. Now, if you're over 40, they say that it is one thing that will help is to stay away from darker or bolder colors. So what I'm going to do, and what you should always do before you put on your lip color, is you want to line them. You want to line your lips. Okay? And in this case, I want to complement the greens with the purple. So I'm going to go with a nice, light plum color, and I'm going to line. Just on the outside. Okay. So now I have an outline of my lip shape, because as you get older, your lips go thinner. So what it's going to do is going to give it more shape, more definition, and make them look bigger. Then I'm going to go with my purple and and I'm going to tell those people who say women over 40 shouldn't wear bolder colors to go fuck themselves. As should you. Okay? And that's youthful. If that's what you want to consider it. I just consider it, look, this is my face. I want to look the way I want to look. Okay? And so, maybe you just want to add like a little bit of gloss, I think. Or just a little bit of, just a little bit of gloss. I'm going to take a pink gloss. Give it a little bit of a satiny shine. A little more definition, and that's it. That's your face. So, this is what I look like. And I hope that helped. It was a pleasure. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.